We've been traveling far without a home, but not without a star. Free, only want to be free. We huddle close, hang on to that dream. On the boats and on the planes, they're coming to America, never looking back again. They're coming to America. Home, don't it seem so far away? Oh, we're traveling like today in the eye of the storm, in the eye of the storm. Home to a new and shining place, make our bed and say our grace. Freedom lights burning warm, freedom lights burning warm. Everywhere around the world, they're coming to America. Every time the flag's unfurled, they're coming to America. Got a dream to take them there. They're coming to America. I got a dream they've come to share. They're coming to America. They're coming to America. They're coming to America. They're coming to America. They're coming to America today. New York City, 9/11. Today, the nation's capital, Washington, D.C. Today, the fine state of Pennsylvania, each and every one of you. Today, and all our soldiers, let's bring them home safe. My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty. Oh, the I sing, oh, the I sing. Today, God bless our veterans. Today, today, today. Oh, the I sing. God bless America and God bless each and every one of you.
Welcome to the Timmy Willis Show. Thanks for tuning in. You're in for a really special treat today. Today we have a very fabulous singing group that goes by the name of The Front Page. And right now we're going to talk to founding member, Mr. Clyde Pearsall. How you doing, Clyde?
Fine, thank you. How you doing today?
Oh, pretty good. You know, you guys sounded really good on that opening number, man. I really like that.
Thank you very much.
Well, can I ask you, how did you get interested in singing? What was it about singing that caught your interest?
I think going to church, I sang gospel for years.
Okay.
And gospel quartet and sang in a choir. That was about it. I just stayed with it.
Yeah. Well, you guys were hitting some really nice harmonies. How did you develop your ear for harmony?
Well, I was single there for a while, and then when we got into a harmony group, you had to learn. And later in life, I took lessons off of Elmer Willett, great guy from Pittsburgh, Monroeville area. And I just kept working in with my mentor over here. You gotta, he makes you right. I mean, he makes your parts right. And these guys keep me in line, for real.
Mm-hmm. That's great. Well, when you were growing up, did you have a certain singer or someone who might maybe inspired you, or somebody that you looked up or idolized when you were growing up?
Well, my next door neighbor was Pete Garfola. He was one of the singers for the Vogues, and I used to listen to him and hum a Vogues, I guess, groupie. I don't know what you'd call it, but I just loved the group, and that's how it really all got started, in the harmony end of it.
Mm-hmm.
And Chuck Blasco, Bill Burkett, they were just some great guys, to deal with.
Right. Now, I was looking on your website. What was that? www.thefrontpage.info.
That's it.
And I noticed that you're also a drummer.
Been a drummer for about 41 years. It's give or take a few.
Mm-hmm.
I don't play no more. I just go out and listen now. Getting too old.
Well, who did you drum for?
I played for numerous local groups. Tony Ford and the Fairlanes, they were based out of Young Harris, Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia. Mm-hmm. And I played with him for off and on for about 3.5, 4 years. Real good kid. He was a Jerry Lee Lewis clone. When I started with him, he was 8 years old. Mm-hmm. And he was about maybe a foot taller than my drum set.
Okay.
But he played piano, and he was a monster piano player, great guy.
Mm-hmm. And you guys did some television shows as well?
Yeah, we did Crook and Chase, the Alabama show, Star Search. He went to the final rounds on Star Search. Kid could sing and play. He was just a monster little guy.
Yeah. Well, I know that you shared the stage with some pretty big names. Would you like to share who some of those were?
Johnny Paycheck, Stella Parton, Ronnie Duff. He was a good guy.
Yeah. That's nice. Well, let me ask you this: how did you get involved in the business side? Because this is the music business, and I noticed that you had gotten into the business side of it as business manager for a very famous group.
Well, I worked for the Vogues. I started out as hauling equipment and doing lights, some sound work, and then I would work, like make sure that everything was taken care of under contract, make sure if, they hired a 9-piece band, all 9 pieces showed up. It was just a piece at a time, and then I just carried it on from there.
Mm-hmm. Well, up to this point, when you look back on it all, do you have any most memorable moments?
With Tony Ford, we did Kennedy Theater in Washington, D.C. with Cher for elephantitis for disease. That was probably one of the best. And playing on stage with some of the artists that I've worked with, and there's so many names. It's just, off the top of my head, I couldn't.
Okay. Well, I noticed in this group you share a lot of different vocal duties. Can you tell us what some of those are? Because I noticed that that you sing baritone and second tenor along with lead vocals.
This group, since it started, it's been a big difference. It's, a lot of groups have a lead singer, and that's the guy that does the show. Well, in this group, I'm blessed with 3 guys that can really sing. I mean, that can, and I like singing different. So, but the biggest thing is there's not really a star to the show. Everybody's a family in this group, so we all take turns. We all share songs. It's just what we do. I mean, but it makes it more interesting, and it makes it more interesting to the public and to the people that come see the venues or the shows that it's not just one person. everyone sings in that group.
Okay, good. Now, you know, they used to say that Elvis has left the building, but you wasn't going for that. You brought him back. Could you tell us a little bit about that? How did that all come about?
Started again with the front page. We did a couple Elvis songs, and then I invested in some suits. You'd have to see those. They're one of a kind. And then I got this wig. And no matter where I go, they say, will you wear the Elvis wig? Mm-hmm. And the wig came from Las Vegas. In fact, Tony and Sharon, they brought the wig back for me from Vegas. Mm-hmm. Well, now it looks like Don King in a bad storm.
Looks like roadkill.
No matter what we do to this wig, it's just, you know, it like stands up. But the people, they just get they crack up. They just get the best. But they say, where's the wig? You got to wear the wig.
Right.
You'll have to see it someday.
Okay, I'm looking forward to it.
It'll be a treat.
Now, you've prepared 2 more songs for us today. Can you tell us what those 2 are?
1965 hit for the Vogues, You're the One.
Okay.
And that was their, I think, first million seller, if I'm not mistaken. Can't Help Falling in Love, Elvis. We got to do an Elvis.
Okay.
It just wouldn't be right.
All right.
You know?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you ready? The Front Page, featuring on lead vocals this time, Mr. Clyde Pearsall.
Every time we meet, everything is sweet. Ooh, you're so tender, I must surrender. My love is your love now and forever. You're the one that I long to kiss. Baby, you're the one that I really miss. You're the one that I'm dreaming of. Baby, you're the one that I love. Keep me in your heart. Never let us part. Ooh, never leave me, please don't deceive me. I want you only, you must believe me. You're the one that I long to kiss. Baby, you're the one that I really miss. You're the one that I'm dreaming of. Baby, you're the one that I love. I adore you, and no one before you could make me feel this way. Since I left you, I just can't forget you. I love you more each day. Yeah, 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 yeah. You're the one. Woo, woo. There may be some tears through the coming years. Ooh, all the while I know you'll be smiling. Your love will guide me through every mile. 'Cause you're the one that I long to kiss. Baby, you're the one that I really miss. You're the one that I'm dreaming of. Baby, you're the one that I love. You're the one that I long to kiss. Baby, you're the one that I really miss. You're the one that I'm dreaming of. Baby, you're the one that I love. You're the one that I long to kiss. Baby, you're the one that I really miss. You're the one that I'm dreaming of. Baby, you're the one that I love. Turtle Creek's on the Vogues.
Give us a little Elvis. Come on now. Without the wig.
Wise men say only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you. Shall I say would it be a sin if I can't help falling in love with you? Like a river flows surely to the sea, darling, so it goes. Some things are meant to be. Take my hand, take my whole life too, for I can't help falling in love with you. Like a river flows surely to the sea, darling, so it goes. Some things are meant to be. Take my hand, take my whole life too, for I can't help falling in love with you, for I can't help falling in love with you.
Here we are with the front page, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Right now, we're going to talk to a member of the front page, Mr. Tony Nicolazzo. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you today?
All right. You know, Tony, I just noticed on your website that your music career has spanned as long as I've been on this earth, 52 years. That's amazing.
That's what happens when you get old. You know? That's why they call it oldies.
That's why they call it oldies.
Well, they were newies back then.
They were newies back then. Now they're oldies, huh?
And now they're oldies.
Well, I tell you, that's remarkable, man. That you still doing it, man. How do you manage to keep it alive after all these years?
Well, I always said, music was kind of like a mental laxative to me.
Really?
When you work all week at a particular job, and then on weekends, if you were out and about playing at different places, it was just a different atmosphere. Just kind of took all that pressure. Kept your mind straight. So that you started next Monday and had a good attitude, and the music seemed to always just keep me in line.
Right. Now let's go all the way back.
I don't know if I can remember that far.
No, seriously, what was it about singing that caught your interest? That made you want to start singing?
Well, it was more the lack of singing, I guess. When I first started, first started with an instrumental band. I was 13 years old, and we were playing jobs and carried the band all through high school. Actually, most of the members in the band when I first started were older than I. They were a couple of years ahead of me in school, but I kept the band going and through graduation, and then when I got into college is really when I started singing. I met a couple. I went to Indiana, PA, met a few people up there, and we had a kind of a little. I guess we agreed with each other, in what we were doing. We used to sing some of the Skyliner songs. The Duprees were just coming out, and all those songs that they did, we used to emulate being the Duprees, Underneath the Steps. That song, Looking for an Echo, there's a lot of truth to that. We used to sing Underneath the Steps and in the shower rooms without the water going, and any place that we could get that sound. We didn't have music behind us, and we kind of did it all a cappella,
Okay.
But we did form a group. There's a friend of mine from New Jersey, and I got off the keyboard, out of the keyboard area, and played guitar, and he played bass guitar, and we had like a duo going, but we had a band behind us. You know, we had a drummer and a couple other guitar players, and we played fraternity parties. And you know, and when I wasn't doing that, I'd travel back home and played with local bands. And,
Okay.
and I got into singing. You know, it started out singing a couple songs here and there. My influences were like basically like Bobby Darin. I love Bobby Darin.
Yeah.
And I used to do all his, you know, the Mac the Knife and all the songs that he did, and that's basically where I got my start singing. You know, back
Okay.
then.
Yeah. Well, I know you did some solo work too as well.
Yeah, back on with the keyboards, I had an opportunity to play country clubs and various venues around Pittsburgh, tri-state area. When I was in the military, I played out in California. I had the opportunity to play some jobs down in Florida, and even up into Canada. I was played up there. And
Okay.
had some opportunity, like I said, with traveling around the country. I
Yeah.
just brought my music with me, you know, wherever I could.
So no wonder the Canadians are walking around smiling. They had a chance to check you out, man.
Well, I don't know about that, but they have some good musicians up there too.
Well, you know, you spoke about the keyboard.
Yes.
How did that all come about for you?
Well, you know, I'm a little Italian boy. I started playing accordion when I was 6 years old.
Okay.
So it just kind of evolved. You know, I went from the accordion to playing. You play the drums. You know how it is carrying those things around. Well, I
Yeah.
carried a 425-pound Hammond organ for about 12 years on the, you know, on dollies, that with an electric piano. So that was my, you know, that was my introduction into the keyboards. And then when the keyboards started coming out, I just went to from 425 pounds to just a 25 pounds.
Right.
So that was a
right,
good
right.
transition, you know.
Right,
so.
right. Well, you know, obviously you must be a very good keyboard player because you played with a lot of groups. You played with a group called the Holidays. Is that well?
I played with them, and I played with several other groups in and around the area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you had to choose between singing and playing keyboards, where's your passion?
Well, right now my first passion is right here.
Right here,
I love
Yeah.
doing what I'm doing. I love these guys,
Yeah.
and that's where I like to be.
Well, you've also prepared 3 songs for us, and one of them is one of the most requested songs that people want to hear you sing. And would you tell us about that?
Gee, I wonder which one that is. Well, you know, once again, as a little Italian boy, I had to get a little Italian flavor, and we started doing a song that Jay and the Americans did, and actually it's in the Pittsburgh area. It's one of the most requested songs when Jay and the group comes into town. You know, doing Cara Mia. So that's the one, and
Okay.
I do. We get a lot of requests for that. And,
Okay. Now you have 2 other songs prepared for us too, as well.
I believe I do. Back in the 50s, a group called the Gladiolas
Okay.
made the song, the second song that I'm going to do, and actually it was done by the Diamonds. The Diamonds took it over and they made it into one of the top hits called Little Darling. And that's just a fun song. We enjoy doing that. That's like our slapstick song on stage. You know,
Yeah.
we're just letting what hair we have left on.
I've gotten slapped a few times.
Wise guy, eh?
And yeah, we do that. We enjoy doing that song. It's kind of a fun song for the group. And the last song, it's kind of, I don't know. We'll get into it later on. But my compadre here is, you know, actually from New York, and this is a song that kind of came off the street corners of the you know, New York areas group Dion and the Belmonts.
Okay.
It goes back to 1957, and actually after this was their first record that really hit it. I think it reached number 22 on the Billboard 100. It's called I Wonder Why.
All right.
But we know why it reached number 22. It's a great song.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm ready. Ladies and gentlemen, the first page. This time featuring on lead vocals, Mr. Tony Nicolazzo.
Cara mia, why must we say goodbye? Each time we part, my heart wants to die. I'll be your love till the end. Till the end of time. Till the end of time. Gotta be a mine. 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 Must we say goodbye? Each time we part, my heart wants to die. Darling, hear my prayer. Gotta me a fair. I'll be your love till the end. Till the end of time. Till the end of time. Gotta be a mine. Gotta be a mine. Gotta be a mine. Gotta be a mine. Each time we part, my heart wants to die. Darling, hear my prayer. Gotta be a fair. I'll be your love till the end. Till the end of. Till the end of. Gotta be a mine. 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 Gotta be a mine.
Let's have some fun now. Ready? Here we go. Clickety click.
Little darling, oh little darling, where are you, my lover? Well, I was wrong up to try to love too. Knowing well that my lover was just for you, only you.
My darling, I need you to call my own and never do wrong. To hold in mind your little hand. I know too soon that all is so grand. Please hold my hand.
My dear, well, I've long up to try to love too. I'm knowing well that my lover was just for you, only you.
Let's go back to the streets of the Bronx.
Know why I love you like I do. Know why I do. Don't know why I love you. Don't know why I care. I just want your love to share. I wonder why I love you like I do. Is it because you do me like I do. I told my friends that we would never part. They often said that you would break my heart. I wonder why they think that we will part. We will part. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Wow. When you're with me, I'm sure you're always true. When I'm away, I wonder what you do. I wonder why I think they're always true, always true. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Wow. I wonder why I love you like I do. Is it because you feel me like you do? I wonder why I love you like I do, like I do. Da 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 da. Know why I love you like I do. Da 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 da. Know why I do. Da 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 da. Know why I love you like I do. Da 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 da. Know why I do. I do.
For those of you just joining us, you are missing it. We're here with a very fabulous vocal group, The Front Page. And in case you was wondering why I said the first page, because they should be on the first page. Right now, we're talking to another member of the singing group, Mr. Bill Reichert. How you doing?
Fine, thank you for having us.
Man, you guys are great, man. My ratings are going to go through the roof, man. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Hey, Bill, let me ask you this. Like I asked the other gentleman that's with you, what was it about singing that caught your interest, that got you, interested in singing?
I can't tell you that when it started, when I got the bug, I know I was singing in church. Mm-hmm. Back then, they had me as a soprano singing the very high notes. And I guess I had that high voice as a child, as a youngster. But then as I got older, the voice matured. Mm-hmm. But I do remember my oldest sister taking me to the Brooklyn Paramount or the Brooklyn Fox Theater, whichever one was having a show. Back then it was either Murray the K or it was Alan Freed. And it was the original rock and roll shows. And I can tell you, I remember seeing Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers. Mm-hmm. And my favorite groups were the Moonglows and the Flamingos. And I remember sitting in about the 5th or 6th row, right in the middle. And I remember looking up, and I looked over at my sister, and I said, someday I'm going to do that. Yeah. And I just, it was great.
So that's what bit you going to those concerts, huh?
It was unbelievable.
Yeah. Well, do you remember the first group that you had a chance to sing with?
Well, as I became a teenager, I was singing with a group in Queens, New York, a group called the Del Rays. Mm-hmm. And I can remember going to the little street corners, the street parks, and, getting together a cappella. And like Tony mentioned before, we'd go down the streets where the stores were, and we'd go into the deep stores trying to find an echo. And back then, whether it was a tunnel on the subways or whether it was a deep storefront which had an echo, we just loved the way the harmony sounded kicking back at you in those storefronts or tunnels. It was great.
Yeah. So you're originally from New York.
Yes.
Well, what was it like for you growing up in Long Island? What was the singing situation? I mean, was there doo-wop groups on every corner? I mean, like, because here in Pittsburgh, it was like that. You know, you see guys out on the corner, man, harmonizing and stuff like that. Was it like that up there where you were at?
Kind of like that. I lived in Queens, New York, before I moved to Long Island, so it was
Okay.
kind of like each borough had the battle of the bands. Or the battle of the groups.
yeah.
And the borough, for example, of the Bronx had Dion and the Belmonts, and each borough had their own, might say hit group, and we just did as much as we could to perpetuate the sound. Back then, it wasn't oldies; it was the music of the time.
Right. Now, I was on your website, and I noticed that you sang with a group called Vito and the Salutations.
Correct.
What was that like for you?
Exciting. I had spent about 13 years as the lead singer of a group called the Dedications. And along the way, I met Vito Balsamo. Vito was the original lead singer. Vito's big hit tunes with the Salutations were Gloria, the slow ballad. It was done by several groups, but Vito and the Salutations had a big hit with Gloria. And my favorite that he did was the fast version of Unchained Melody. That was something else. So I met Vito along the way, and I was invited to join Vito in the Salutations, and boy, did I enjoy singing those songs. That was songs I had heard on the radio, and I got a chance to sing live.
Yeah, they had to be exciting. Now, you also, matter of fact, for those of you tuning in, if you're wondering what I'm talking about, you got to visit the website. It's www.thefrontpage.info. You can get all the info there about the front page. But anyway, you sang 5 years with the Holidays as well.
I did.
What was that like for you? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, after I left Vito and the Salutations, I went with a group called the Mystics, who had recorded Hushabye in the city. I did my last show in December of, I believe it was 03, at Westbury Music Fair. And then I moved to Pittsburgh. And I had a friend of mine, someone that I had met over the phone, named Dave Justice. Dave Justice had a show called Radioactive Gold, and Dave set me up with the Holidays, and actually I was in touch with them before I moved to Pittsburgh, so that by the time I got here, I was pretty well in touch with them, and even had about 3 CDs worth of their material that I was rehearsing.
Right, good. Well, let me ask you this. Up to this point, when you look back on it all, do you have any most memorable moments that stand out?
Probably 2. Again, got to go back to you dream as you're singing in the garages, and as you're singing in the basements, and as you're singing in the storefronts. You dream one day of being up in front of a lot of people at a major venue. So with the Mystics, we had the good fortune of doing Madison Square Garden, and it was the onstage reunion of the Mystics, Classics, and Passions. And that was an exciting show, and it was kind of like I died and went to heaven. It was wonderful. And living in Long Island as I grew older, the main venue out there was Westbury Music Fair.
Yeah, with the revolving stage.
Yeah.
I played there myself.
And I sang on that stage with Vito and the Salutations, and I can remember looking out and seeing my wife as the song started, and then I got focused on the material and the song. When I looked up, she was gone. And I didn't realize that the stage had moved around.
Right.
So I spent the rest of the song looking for her. There she was finally by the end of the song.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
But that
man.
was exciting for me.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. All that. So what was it about Clyde that made you latch on to him? And when this whole front page thing started jumping out, how did that all thing come about?
Well, at a point in time, after I had left the Holidays, I had contacted Tony, who I had met along the way, just to let him know that I wanted to sing the oldies. And I enjoyed the oldies. And he said, well, why don't you join us? And I said, us? Who's us? And he said, I'm with the Front Page. And I didn't realize that when I had talked to Tony or called him, that he was, along with Clyde, a member of the Front Page. And I met with Tony and Clyde, and they were kind enough to invite me into the group. And I said, you know something, this is an opportunity. I've sung over the years with a lot of different people, but none of the guys I shared the stage with have a passion for the music like these two fellows do. They are deeply committed to their songs, deeply committed to the oldies, and I saw something in them that was pleasurable, and that was the fact that they were having fun singing the oldies and doing what they enjoyed. And I said, you know something, I can't let this opportunity go by. And so I accepted their invitation, and I'm thankful that I joined the Front Page.
Yeah, it's just like you come home. Huh?
Yeah, it's singing with guys who love the music as much as I do.
Well, I tell you what, man, I can tell, man, you guys love one another, man. It comes across in your music, man.
They're easy to love.
Yeah. Well, hey, let me ask you this: do you have any songs prepared for us? I know the Clyde and
I do. I kind of put together 3 ballads. I could have put together some up-tempo material, but I love the oldies, and I love the words and harmonies of the ballads. And one of the first songs that I selected was 16 Candles.
Okay.
And when I was growing up, that was everybody's birthday song. So 16 Candles was Johnny Maestro and the Crests at the time. Johnny's a good friend, helped me out in New York, booked us along with his group in many shows that he did. So 16 Candles was my first selection. And then friends of mine from New Jersey, the Dubs, Cleveland Still and the Dubs, had many, many hits. One of theirs was Could This Be Magic? And then the Earls came out with a song called I Believe. And I've recorded that song on 2 different occasions, on 2 different albums. But it's the words and music are just absolutely wonderful. And so I thought I'd share I Believe. It's a wonderful song, and it's a song I hope your audience will enjoy.
Okay, got some love songs. So guys, get the missus up out of the laundry room. So you don't want to miss this one. Ladies and gentlemen, the Front Page featuring Mr. Bill Reichert on lead vocals.
Thank you.
Happy birthday, baby, whoa, I love you so. 16 candles make a lovely light, but not as bright as your eyes tonight.
As you rise tonight,
Blow out those candles, make your wish come true. For I'll be wishing that you love me too.
that you love me too.
You're only 16,
16,
but you're my teenage queen.
my queen.
Oh, you are the prettiest, the loveliest girl I've ever seen.
I've ever seen.
16 candles in my heart will glow forever and ever. For I love you so.
For I love you so.
You're only 16,
16,
but you're my teenage queen.
my queen.
Oh, you're the prettiest, the
loveliest girl I've ever seen.
I've ever seen.
16 candles in my heart will glow forever and ever. For I love you so. For I love you so. Thank you. Happy birthday.
It's supposed to come right in.
Could this be magic, my dear? My heart's all aglow. Could this be magic, loving you so? Could this be magic, my dear, having your love? My prayers were answered so far from above. I thought that it would be just a memory to linger my heart in pain. But to my surprise, when I opened up my eyes, I was with you, dear, once again. Could this be magic, my dear, having your love? If this is magic, then magic is mine. Could this be magic? Then magic is mine. Okay. To my friends from New York, tribute to the Earls. Beautiful song called I Believe. Somewhere above, there is a heaven. Somewhere above, there is a star. I believe for every drop of rain that falls, a flower grows. A flower grows. I believe that somewhere in the darkest night, a candle glows. A candle glows. I believe for everyone who goes astray, someone will come to show the way. I believe, oh, I believe, I I believe above the storm, the smallest prayer can still be heard.
Can still be heard.
I believe that someone in that great somewhere hears every word.
Here's every word.
And every time I hear a newborn baby cry, oh, touchily, or see the sky, then I know why. I believe.
I believe
I know.
for every drop of rain
At one
that
time or
falls,
another,
a flower grows.
we've all lost someone so very near and so very dear.
I believe
But there's no cause
in
to
the
fear,
darkest night,
because there's someone up
a
above
candle glows.
who's watching over them. And he's watching over me. And every time I hear a newborn baby cry, oh, touchily, or see the sky, then I know why. I believe. Somewhere above, there is a heaven. Somewhere above, there is a star.
Hey, the front page, man. You guys are great.
Thank you.
Hey, look, I want to thank you for keeping this music alive for people like my little brother Wesley here, man.
Thank you.
You know what I mean?
Thank you very
It's
much.
a real pleasure having you.
Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, tune into the front page at www.thefrontpage.info. And keep tuning in to the Timmy Willis Show, because you never know who you're going to see. Until next time.